a couple world champions up here.
What's
So I am Mike Iarossi. I won the 1994 Nintendo World Championships.
also known as Power Best?
I'm the 90 in the BC, 12 through 17.
I'm John Numbers, winner of the 2015 Nintendo World Championships.
I am Patrick Haendle. I made it to the 2015 finals, got eliminated on a balloon fight, but got through the Torrance qualifier.
It's okay, we like you anyway.
I'm Chris Tang. I'm the Hawaii State Nintendo Champion. I'm the 1990 Nintendo World Championships Los Angeles City Champion, and the 1994 Sega World Championships Rock the Rock $25,000 champion.
This is all those accolades he has.
Just show off the prize that you got, huh?
I was a 90. I was a 90 finalist too.
I wasn't like yet.
So anyway, John Numbers here is our special guest this year. He was the 2015 winner. Last year we had Thor as our special guest, and the previous year that was me. So a lot of the focus is going to be Patrick and John talking about their 2015 experience. So we're going to have them start out, and then we'll talk about some other things. And toward the end, we'll do like a Q&A if you guys have any questions.
Yeah.
So John, go ahead.
Alright, so what do you think? Should we just like say parts of the story and trip off of each other? However you want to do it. You know, like I just talk about my qualifiers, then you do qualifiers, and then we can just do yours. Okay, cool. Alright, it did take place 2 years ago, so a lot of you might have already been aware of how it went down. The Nintendo 2015 Championships qualifiers involved playing the Nintendo World Championship Remix on NES Remix Ultimate for the 3DS, involving playing Super Mario Bros. 1, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Dr. Mario in order. And for the most part, should I talk? What's that question? Sorry. In the game itself, the point was to get to Dr. Mario as fast as you could, because Mario 1 and Mario 3 had very low score multipliers, and Dr. Mario had 100 times score multiplier. So there's no point in playing those other games. We just called it the Dr. Mario World Championships, honestly. Anyway, alright, so the event took place in 8 Best Buy locations, as according to Visa Mac, if you saw the announcement for the event. One of them was in New York, one of them was in
Chicago, LA, San Francisco.
It was Schaumburg, Illinois, I think they were saying.
That's right. The Nintendo World Championships took place in 8 places across America.
I believe Seattle is one as well. New York.
Right.
Minneapolis, San Francisco,
NorCal, SoCal,
Dallas.
So the way it worked.
We probably named more than 8.
Yeah. So the way it worked was we had a chance to line up, one chance to try getting our highest score possible, and
Or so we thought.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Oh boy. One chance to try, and then you just go home. And if you weren't there by the time the day ended and you were the winner, they just called you up. And I guess we should talk about how it went. As for myself, I guess in New York, I woke up basically to show up 2 hours early, only to find out I was like one of the first 10 people online. And then later on found out that about 250 people showed up total. I was like, wow, I didn't even need to wake up early. So I went in, I did my run. Up to that point, I had been practicing the game like crazy. Me and a bunch of other people, including Patrick, have been just like setting our scores. For a while, I held the highest score with over 10 million points. I was just like, wow. And when I went in, I actually did a very poor run with only 4 million points. Poor for my standards, but apparently that was good enough to win. Because when I was done, I actually went to a Smash tournament afterwards, and I got the call in the middle. I was just like, hey, who is this? It's like, I'm the Nintendo World Championship. You won. I'm like, oh my gosh, cool. And that was it. Then I won the Smash tournament too.
Nice. What did they give you for winning the local?
That's right. The prizes for winning the qualifier was the free flight and hoteling to California and a 250 Visa debit card. Nice prizes overall. All right, you're up.
All right. Well, I went to the Torrance qualifier. I had been practicing pretty regularly up to the event. I was trying to get consistency because I was ranging between 2 and 6 million at the time. when I got up at like 5 o'clock that morning, and I kind of approached it kind of like how I approach a final exam in college, in that the day of, I don't do like any cramming several hours before, so I just took like one practice run that morning and made myself some breakfast and went out. I planned to be there an hour early because I didn't know what to expect in terms of the line there, but by the time I got there, there were maybe 20 people there.
There appeared to be no need to line up early, honestly. Especially less so this time around, because you'll be able to go back over and over again for the 2017 qualifier. Sorry.
I mean, honestly, I've never had that much fun waiting in line before because, well, at the time, I did not have Ultimate NES Remix on the 3DS. I only played the Wii U version, which was actually good because that discouraged me from cramming, which I am wont to do, usually. But there was also a guy in front of me in line who had been to the 94 Power Fest. I didn't get his name, but he was talking to...
Patrick Weiler.
Oh, that was Patrick?
Patrick Weiler, he was the guy that you were saying.
Patrick.
Okay.
The other Patrick.
Yeah, because you and him were talking strategy, and I was just kind of listening in, and I felt pretty good because I actually knew what they were talking about. And at that point, the only thing that was really entering my head at that time was whether I wanted to play it safe, because at the time it was one shot. But by the time I had gotten there, I had seen someone got 5 million points already. And I was kind of shaking a little bit because I was like excited and nervous doing my one run, you know. And I got the exact 2 pieces I needed on level 3 of Dr. Mario, and I ended up with 5.4 million points.
Alright, Jesus bless him.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was, frankly. But at that point, it was like, oh man, now I have to wait all day to see if someone can beat my score.
No, the wait is the worst part.
Yeah. And it's like an hour and a half later, I was like, I'm not going to sit around here anymore. I got in contact with a friend. We went to lunch and hung out for a few hours. And I'm like, I'm just going to go home. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I got home at like 6, and then an hour later I got the call and I saw a 562 area code. I'm like, oh God, this really happened. I could not contain my excitement at that point.
It's a good feeling. It's a really nice feeling when you get that.
I kind of realized what the call was too before I picked up, but only because I don't get phone calls.
So I also went to a 2015 qualifier. I went to Chicago.
This is going to be a good story. Better buckle in, boys.
So I went out there with Triforce, if any of you know him. I like to stand in line and be the first to get every Nintendo system. He's
Triforce Johnson.
right. He's a pretty cool guy, all right. But it was an interesting trip. So we get on a bus from Ohio to Chicago. We get there, and I have a friend of mine in Chicago who's going to pick us up and take us to the Best Buy, which is about 45 minutes away. So we get there, and on the way there, it is raining. So when we get to Best Buy, it is raining. And it's not really raining light. There are about 150 people already in line. Hasn't opened yet. And we're all outside in the rain.
Wow, we had it good. No one
Yeah,
online,
it was
perfect weather.
amazing already. So we stand outside in the rain for 3 hours until I'm able to go inside. By this time, I am just a huge mess of water. Right before I go inside, I actually had another shirt with me. I just went to the car, changed shirts. So now I'm at least dry in some part of me. Go inside, and I mean, now you're just waiting. And I go and I play, and I was doing well all the way up until like the second level of Dr. Mario, and I had the perfect setup and misplaced my my tape, and that was it. The next piece was it, and I lined out. I was
Hard
done.
dropped.
So then, you know, I'm out. Me and Triforce, we ended up going to like Galloping Ghost Arcade. I don't know if you know where that is, but Walter Day was there. We were going to meet up with him and do some stuff. So as I'm at Galloping Ghost, this is about 6:45, so the tournament closes in 15 minutes. I get a call from that guy, Dorian Whitlock, my friend of, forever, who was in California, and he's like, hey, they're letting you play multiple times? No, I don't know this. And the tournament closes in 15 minutes, and I'm 45 minutes away from it. So thanks.
Thanks for the news, boys. It explicitly said in the rules that you only got one shot, but at some point, some of the venues started allowing people to take redos.
Right.
Not all of them, though.
Once they went through the whole line and there was nobody else waiting, it was like, hey, if you want to play again, feel free. Wish I knew this earlier.
Did you have the high score when you left?
No, I told you, I lined up.
All right. Because someone got messed out of their score because of the redo attempts.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember who it was, but there was like a big score. All right.
It was the guy Vince Clemente.
It's Clemente, that's the name.
It's Vince. Vince Clemente. He's actually one of the guys that helps run our Tetris tournament, World Championships every year. And he had the high score, and he got it on his first shot. And when they opened up the floodgates, he left. Like if he had stayed there and saw someone beat the score, he could have defended. But because he actually asked. He said, can we play again? Can we play again? They said no. And he left, and then someone came up, tried again, like a billion times, like several times. Finally beat his score, and he wasn't there to defend or even try again. So he pretty much got screwed out of it. It was pretty ugly, pretty sad. We were hoping they would just kind of let him in, like on a buy, or sort of just as a goodwill thing, because it doesn't really take anything off Nintendo to make sure to do right by the people that follow the rules. But when they start breaking their own rules, and it's like, well, was that legit or was it not legit? It was a little salty, a little unfortunate, but I guess live and learn. I mean, what I would have done in that situation is I would have stayed there and made sure, if someone beats my score, then I want to actually see someone beat my score, because you don't want to go out like seeing a score, hearing that someone beat you and then seeing them beat you are two different things. So. If you're ever at a tournament and someone can beat your score, make sure you stick around, make sure they follow the rules, because a lot of times these are hired help, and the people that are running the event at Best Buy, they're getting paid minimum wage or whatever, and they don't care. They're not invested in gaming, like you as a player. So make sure you cover your back and that they're following the rules legit. I've entered a lot of tournaments in my lifetime, and some of them weren't run so well. And if I could go back in time, I'd make sure I beat the crap out of people who break the rules and stuff, even if it's people who run tournaments. So
I know they did actually have Nintendo employees there, because I brought my trophy and I showed one of the employees that was there, and she was like, "Where did you get this?" And I'm like, "Well, read it." And she's like, they give these to us as employees when you're there for a certain amount of time. She's like, "I have 3 of these." I'm like, "Well, I don't have mine."
Yeah, that is right. That is the employee anniversary thing.
Yeah.
And I just realized that. It's like, they just reused their employee trophies for tournament
Right.
trophies. They cheaped out, man. That's not fair.
So the thing that was
Sorry, go ahead.
that's okay, go ahead.
They didn't do that for me. I had one that clearly said on the top, Nintendo World Championship 2015. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Aren't you special? You didn't. Well, we'll go over that later. The thing that was disappointing to me about 2015 with losing was the main reason I wanted to win was because I was a finalist in '90. I won '94. I wanted to be a finalist in 2015 because I would have been the only person to have been a finalist in all 3 at least. I didn't care about winning 2015. I just wanted to be there at the end just to have that, recognition. So it kind of sucked when I didn't make it in 2015. Even though Nintendo doesn't recognize '94 anymore for some reason.
It's really sad.
It's terrible.
There is a reason. Anyway, as far as the single plays, people really wanting to play again if they made a mistake, and people getting screwed out of their extra shots because they didn't realize, I think Nintendo took notice of this, and that's why you're allowed infinite tries now with the 2017 qualifier. Just my thoughts.
So now let's move on to the finals.
Yes, all right, the main event. So it took place in, where was it, Los Angeles?
E3.
Los Angeles, California, E3.
The Microsoft Theater, I think.
Yep, that's correct.
It was the
Nokia
Nokia Theater the day before.
The day before.
Which we had already bought.
And a toasty 100 degrees compared to Arizona's 140 degrees. Nice tepid.
Surface of the sun here, I just want to say that.
Yeah. You saw that King of the Hill clip. Oh God, it's like standing on the surface of the sun.
This place is a testament to the arrogance of mankind.
Just wait till it gets to 115, and this is the humidity part.
Oh dear.
You get
This
used
is the
to
nice
it.
part of our summer.
This is, I know it's pretty dry. It's like, it feels a little uncomfortable. It's not unbearable despite how hot it is. So after we heard about our victories, after a whole bunch of paperwork later, deciding on our plus ones, we were on our airplane rides to California. And that was actually my first time on an that was my first time on an airplane, so I was also excited about that too. So that was my flight there. It was pretty uneventful overall. I got to the main event and met up with everybody else, including my boy Patrick, I don't know how to pronounce that, Haendle?
Handle.
And it's just Haendle,
It's just
it's
Haendle.
got an E in there.
Yeah. An
Okay.
extra E.
And I
Gotta
assume,
put somewhere.
and I assume it was much the same for you, right? Paperwork plus one airplane ride?
Yeah, a 24-minute airplane ride with a 3-hour flight delay.
He could have drove there in 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And on the first day, they made us, they basically told us what we had to do. We practiced things on the first day, like the day we got there, right? Kind of forgetting if we did it on the day after or not.
Practice as in.
As in where we had to stand on the stage, stuff like that.
Oh, the rehearsal. Yeah, I think that was the day before.
Closer to the mic. Not
Okay.
that close.
Got it though. Yeah, we practiced we rehearsed things like standing on the stage, where we had to be, how we'd be introduced, where we'd have to wait when we weren't playing. And we also did this recording of us walking dramatically down the street, all of us in a line. It was really something. And then they took us out for dinner. It was really nice. Handed us our Visa cards. Overall, pretty good night. We all got to know each other. And we all shared around tips about the games that we knew that were coming up. Like Splatoon and Legend of Zelda for NES.
Yeah, I think T and Mark borrowed my 3DS for like 5 hours.
Wait, they have Splatoon for the NES?
Splatoon. If you guys didn't know, it was on NES. Yeah, for the most part, I was given a lot of tips by the Mexican runner, even though I never ended up playing Legend of Zelda, but I was getting pretty consistent at it, so I was happy about it. The whole time before, though, because we knew it was going to be one of the games, I thought we had to beat the whole game, and I had never played Legend of Zelda 1 before in my life, so I had to play through Legend of Zelda over and over again, like a maniac.
Well, they actually said that the objective was to get to the end of level 1.
Yeah, when we got to
And Fernando and I were like, has anyone practiced the second quest?
I know, I'm saying when we got to California, that's when they told us, but we knew it was going to be one of the games a month before we got there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, Legend of Zelda, I guess I'm going to memorize the whole game. Oh god.
That completely seems like him.
And then when it said defeat Aquamentus, I'm like, great. And then I didn't even play it. I was like, even better. Whatever.
I was bummed that I didn't get to play it, honestly.
No, I'm happy. I would have choked. I would have been like, oh god. And then, is that all we had to talk about for that part? Main event now?
Well, we were doing our meet and greets the day before, and that was when I learned that you are the most intense Mario Party DS player I've ever seen. We were playing Mario Party on the DS while we were at the restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, BSG remembers this very vividly.
Listen, I go in hard on a lot of video games.
I know you do.
That's
I'm
probably how
not
it is.
knocking it, we noticed this.
Right, a lot of you were predicting I was going to win. I was like, guys, I just play video games, guys. No.
You don't
What?
just play video games.
Yeah, I say that with a Switch and a 3DS in front of me.
As his fingers are twitching, waiting to touch them.
Listen, I gotta get back to that Mario Kart 7 grind.
Yes.
It's
Right.
important.
So, finals?
Alright, so the main event starts, and just as rehearsed, we get there, and Nintendo announces Mother 1 for Virtual Console. That was pretty exciting, actually. Nintendo actually paying attention to the Mother series. Maybe we'll get Mother 3 soon.
No.
Maybe it'll come out before Half-Life 3.
No, we never get to either one of those. We just get card games.
Maybe it'll come out before Kingdom Hearts 3.
That's next year, so that's definitely happening.
Are you sure? Can you say that with 100% certainty?
Yes.
No.
Wow. You heard it here first.
What do you mean, no? I just said yes.
All right, you heard it from him.
Talk about your finals.
This is Mike Iarossi right here, guys. You know where to go when Kingdom Hearts is out next year. Let's talk about the main event. So we got there. At this point, all we knew was that Splatoon and Legend of Zelda were going to be games. We didn't know the format or anything that was going to be like a double elimination style bracket. So we get there, and they put us backstage and have us practice Blast Ball because we've never seen it before, and we had to know how to play it. We actually had a chance to practice the game before we went up to the stage to actually play it, and we were all terrible. Well, I was. How about you?
I felt good because I got a hat trick in my first game.
Oh, what fancy pants you were. Yeah, while we were back there, we didn't get to meet them, but we saw Nintendo executives back there. Like, we saw Reggie and we saw Miyamoto. We noticed that Iwata wasn't there, unfortunately. I believe he was sick by that point, right?
Yeah.
We didn't know why, though. We were just like, oh, Iwata's not here. We just assumed he had business back in Japan, I guess. Or at least that was my assumption. It was fine, though. Me and other people were there. And, yeah, it was nice. Backroom stage. I kind of like disjointed my talking there, sorry. All right, for real now. The main event begins. And the first game is Splatoon. We split off into 4 teams of 4 with our 8 qualifiers and our 8 invitees. A lot of people weren't happy about the invitees, but I didn't mind.
I didn't really mind so much,
I
but
think anyone minded aside from the people who weren't there.
But
It's like,
I
oh
think-
man, Ego Raptor, oh my god. I loved that he was there.
yeah, basically for Splatoon, they had us choose our weapons beforehand, but the teams were randomized as far as I know.
Exactly. Some poor team was stuck with like 3 rollers on it.
And I think one had 2 rollers and one had none.
Yeah, the one with 2 rollers I felt really bad about. If you have 4 guns, that's fine, or 3 guns and 1 roller. 2 teams had 3 guns and 1 roller. That's a very well balanced team. And for the and we were only able to pick what was it? Splatter Shot Junior, regular roller, and regular splatter scope.
The charger.
Yeah, charge, scope, shot, splatter.
Splat charger.
That's it. He's got it.
Yeah,
And
we were on the same team.
that's right. We destroyed whoever we were playing against. I don't remember. We had a very strong showing though. I was able to spawn camp a lot of the beginning part, honestly.
Yeah.
There was like this one part. It was I don't remember the name of the map anymore because Splatoon 2 came out. It was one of the areas where there's like a side route that you can wait by to just like catch people as they're running out of the spawn point if they don't super jump out.
Yeah.
Which one?
It was the mall.
No, not the mall. It was like a warehouse kind of stage.
Walleye
I don't remember
warehouse.
the
That's
name.
it, Walleye Warehouse, thank you. And we did really well, so we made it on, and whoever lost had to go into, as you know, the elimination round. And what was the name of the announcer? Was it Patrick Herrera? Something Herrera.
Kevin Pereira.
Kevin Pereira. Like he said, after a painful night of Mexican food, it's time for a painful elimination. I'm just like, he said that. I said that. That was great. And so the elimination round started. It was Legend of Zelda. Neither of us were in that, but we were watching it, and the Mexican run. We were really surprised to see this. The Mexican runner, unfortunately, choked his way out, and he died in the middle of his run. And then someone else died. It was just like crazy. Like everyone was getting really close to dying. So we were all just like at the edge of our seats, wondering who was going to win this. And
BSG is the only one that didn't die on that run.
yes, thank you for reminding me who won that. I didn't remember. It was BSG. He's the one who made it on. And then we had the second round on winner's side, and that was Blast Ball. And just like when we were rehearsing it, it was just a complete chaotic mess. And then we saw for the first time this weird like ball that was on fire. And it was just like, what is this thing? And it's just like we touched it and we instantly died. It was horrifying.
We were opponents on Blast Ball.
Yeah, I performed a lot better when we were playing for real, but I think it was just kind of luck, but I ended up getting 2 out of 3 points. I'm very happy about that. Yeah. And
When we were playing Blast Ball, we scored the first goal, and at that point, I was like really, really hyped up, and I had Fernando and Tinsy on my team, And I started high-fiving people at that point, even though it was only the first goal, because I was just way too excited at that
The
point.
early pop-offs.
Yes.
Unacceptable.
I'd do it again.
And he'd do it again, and he says he's not going to stop.
I'm too excited. I couldn't not do it, all right?
It's an effective strategy. It demoralizes your opponents.
I know. Yeah,
Well, it
pop-offs
didn't.
are rude, man.
Well, I don't think it demoralized them because they scored their goal within 5 seconds of that happening.
Yeah, we got
Drag your hands off of the controller.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, no. There was something else about blast ball, but I can't seem to remember, so continue.
Well, at that point, we were just getting steamrolled in blast ball, but it was kind of weird because the person on the losing team with the highest point total, because basically there's goals, assists,
Right.
and blocks, and it's a point for each one, and whoever had the most points on the losing team got to move on, and that was me.
Yeah, that's how it worked. Now that I remember.
I basically threw myself in front of the ball in the last few moments of the game.
Wow, nice assist. Oh yeah, and for blast ball, we all had our suspicions about what that game actually was. We were like, is this a Metroid game? We can't tell, but it looks really familiar to that one on the DS, Metroid Prime Hunters, or whatever.
Federation Force?
Yeah, no, we were
Or
suspecting what the game looked like, blast ball. We were like, this
Oh.
appears to be a Metroid game. It seems to have like the same HUD, the same graphical quality
Yeah.
as the Metroid game on the DS, you know, the one with all those like space hunters, space pirates.
I'm not familiar with that one.
We were
but yeah,
suspicious, and little did we know it would turn into Federation Force. Oh boy. And so the losers went on to the second round of elimination, and lo and behold, it was Super Metroid, and I nearly had a heart attack because, don't like shoot me for this, but I've actually never played Super Metroid before. I've actually never played like I've never actually played like any Metroid game actually, except for Metroid.
Were you alive when Super Metroid came out?
I was alive. The only one I've really played
In the
was,
womb or what?
I was born in '92, okay?
Yep, in the womb.
I played a little bit of Hunters, as I mentioned, but that was about it. So I was just like really nervous about that. And we also had the speedrunner of Super Metroid in that round, right?
Yeah.
What was it again?
Sinister?
Sinister, and he won it, right? With his he had a beautiful performance, killed Mother Brain instantly, did that super jump onto the ship. We were just like, wow, he did it.
You missed the shine spark on the shaft, though.
Just like, oh yeah. But he's just like, wow, just like the ending of one of his speedruns, I bet.
Yeah.
One thing I remember from watching the cast was the Wii U menu HUD kept popping up. What was the deal with that? Were people like hitting the button or?
Well,
The thing is, yeah.
the triggers on the gamepad bring up the virtual console menu. They're probably hitting that instead of the usual L and R, the shoulder buttons.
Touching touchscreen also triggers this too.
I think someone tried to change the controls around.
Yeah,
a little
someone
bit, too.
switched their controls immediately, knowing that this would happen. Probably because, sorry, they probably play or speedrun Super Metroid on the virtual console, which would be understandable.
No one would want to speedrun anything on the virtual console.
There weren't any like unexpected surprises, but it was very entertaining to watch, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
Winners round 3, Mario Kart 8, not deluxe. And that was just a wild ride, to say the least. 200cc. I was nervous because I've never practiced 200cc before. I did a little bit, so I knew using mushrooms was useless. It's like mushrooms are a suicide button in 200cc. But it's just like, wow, 200cc. And for myself, my strategy for the most part was don't do any tricks off the ramps, brake on every turn, and just be very, very safe. And it just barely worked out because I ended up getting 3rd place with only 3 people advancing from Mario Kart 8. I was the one who picked Villager, by the way. Villager just in the Blue Falcon cart. If you were watching, you would see me just like spam the camera. I was just like, all right. And then Patrick, unfortunately.
Oh man, Mario Kart 8. I had never done 200cc, and I don't have any of the DLC, so I'm.
Mario Kart 8, the DLC is pay to win. Just as mentioned. Villager.
I'm a cheapskate, so you know how that's goes.
Villager and Cat Mario in Mario Kart 8, not deluxe, they had a statistical advantage over everyone in the Mario tier and the Yoshi tier because they traded off 1 unit of weight for +1 speed or +1 acceleration, depending on which tier you were moving from. So there were so many characters that were just statistically outclassed. It was really sad to see. In addition to the acceleration tiers glitch, which not a lot of players might have been aware of, in Mario Kart 8, not Deluxe again, because they fixed this, if your acceleration stat was anything that wasn't x.00, the stat would be rounded down to x.00. So if you had something like 2.75 acceleration, that's 2 acceleration. And so if you didn't know about that, you were kind of like up the river right there. Luckily, I had a build with 3 excel, so I'm good.
All I remember is I had no idea what I was doing. I just picked Luigi and just did the best I could.
It's understandable. Luigi is number 1.
Did you have the Luigi stare?
Well, it didn't work because I hit a rock in the last turn of the second track.
Oh my god, Animal Crossing is a brutal stage at high speeds. There's just so many turns
That was the
just
one I
run
did
you
the best
right
at.
into the rocks.
That was the one I did the best at. I got like 11th on Big Blue and I was really sad.
Oh my god. Oh, I think I remember that too.
And
I was like, oh man. He was like up there and now he's down there. We were all really sad when the computer beat us on the first race though. We were just like, oh, CPU takes first place. Do they move on if they get top 3? So that brings us to the final elimination round, balloon fight. And I'll let Patrick handle that.
Balloon fight. My only experience with balloon fight was with NES Remix, and I wasn't that good at it. And I feel bad about that because it's like a super simple game, and I play it a little more often now, and it's really fun, and I love it, even though it kicked me out of the NWC.
Is that like hate playing?
What's that?
Is that like hate playing?
It's
It's like
At first it was.
I hate this
like
game.
you balloon fight, you gosh.
Well, it's like-
you gosh darn balloon fight. Oh, I
My
love you
sec-
so much.
My second balloon trip attempt would have won it. My second balloon trip try after the NWC would have won that stage. So I was a little bitter about that, but I got over it.
Surprising. Oh, go ahead.
I made just about every mistake you could possibly make on balloon trip. I tend to play risky. You know that.
Yes, we all know that. We all know that.
I've never noticed this before.
Patrick is a very risky player when it goes for high score runs. I'm too nervous to try things like that though.
You play that loss again over and over again in your head though, don't you?
Yes, constantly.
It sucks.
It's
I hit
understandable.
every spark. I got eaten by the fish at least twice.
Eaten by the fish.
If you don't know this, when you win, like when I won 94, it's a great feeling. But the memories that I will never remember more vividly, at least, are losing in 90 and 2015.
The phone
lineup.
call in 2015.
It's like it's just terrible.
The dreaded phone call of 2015. I actually have a few things to say about